Cause it's time to move on now. It's time for murder blues.
I don't know what the fuck just happened, but
I don't know what that was.
it sounded
I'm glad I was part of it.
it sounded like a sheep orgasmed live on
It
the
was
show.
a dolphin.
Great time. Great time.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening. And between that and what we were talking about, and then like now all I can think about is the last episode of The Boys that had the sheep eating people. And I don't know where the
I
fuck
still
we
haven't
are.
watched any of it.
It's been real good. I've enjoyed it. And yes, we are Murder Moose, part of the Slash and Cast Podcast Network,
It's in the game.
and in Kansas.
No, in Rod's ass. We were talking before we started recording about sticking thing. I don't even actually remember what we were talking about, but
He
just the fact
told
that we were
me
talking about stick. Oh, that's right.
What I wouldn't do to him
Yep.
That's right.
while
that's
giving
right.
him a blowjob without talking to me about what I would or wouldn't do to him. He
I
just
mean,
assumed
I didn't
So
assume
I've
that I
Brian.
established
wouldn't
you
stick a
just shove your
finger
whole
in
head
his
in
ass. He
Rod's
doesn't know
asshole.
what I would or wouldn't do to him while I'm giving him head. He doesn't really know how
Brian,
I do.
I know
or do
from
not get
experience.
down.
I know from experience, Brian.
No, first of all, look, okay, if
Brian's like, was I there?
I'm offended by this because I'm a team player. All right, I am a fucking team player. If I do something, I give it everything I got.
You
all
give it-
right?
I mean,
Now I may not be good at it,
But
you're
you
gonna
get-
the best fucking effort.
you're gonna get an A for effort every time for
Damn
Brian.
right,
Brian,
damn right.
Brian
A for
makes
effort
shit.
and C for chlamydia. Sorry. D for dick.
I don't know how we've gotten to where we've gotten, but we've gotten here, and yeah, we are Murder Moose. Ken has been deported from Canada because of her incident through Canadian security.
With the moose.
With the moose.
I will say, because I was not here to tell the beautiful story of how I returned to the US, I did get stuck. My travel time going from Canada to here was approximately 40 hours.
Oh, Jesus, they're just next door.
Well, I mean, they're a distance, but I got laid. Like my first,
You got
my
laid?
first set of flights,
Not
I got laid. My first set of flights, it was supposed to be Toronto, or sorry, it was supposed to be Regina to Toronto, Toronto to where I was flying into, and then a distance drive back here. And the couple days before, they canceled my second leg, so it was only supposed to be 2 flights, and they were like, "Nope, sorry, we're gonna take you from Regina to Toronto, Toronto to Atlanta, Atlanta to this other airport." And I was like, "Well, that's fucked up." But at least I have 3 hours of an overlay or layover. Wow, overlay layover. So I'll have plenty of time to deal with customs. So my first flight got delayed for 2 hours, and then we got stuck on the runway for 45 minutes. So I missed my flight, and then I couldn't get on another one until the next day at 4 p.m. But then I had to go through customs about 4 different times to try to drop off that lovely paper that they gave me when I entered into Canada the last time, and ended up in immigration. And they were like, "Yeah, this paper is just a scare tactic, basically, but hold on to it for your records." And I was like, "What the fuck?" And then my luggage, I couldn't get it, but I made it.
I
I'm
caught like
home.
I caught the
Finally.
tail tail end of that story on her stream the other day, and I'm like, oh, this is because I hadn't put 2 and 2 together because I don't know. You missed our Mary Lou Boo 2 shoe talk
Yeah,
last
I'm
weekend.
a little bummed because I genuinely picked that movie because I wanted to know what you think of it.
Oops.
It is an adventure, Ken, and maybe something how you watch it just
That's
for
right.
the adventure. It is yeah, but yeah, you sound like you had a good old time.
Yeah.
I just think that like maybe if you weren't like importing a weasel into another country, you wouldn't have these problems.
Oh no! Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this one? Are you
What's
ready for
up?
this? Unfortunately, I'm on the same airline, but I'm taking another computer back with me the next time I go. But the last time I did it, I flew with it and it was okay.
And you have your
So-
AirTags this time, right?
Yes,
Dude, I have my AirTags on
everything's air tagged.
Yeah.
Like,
So, how long are you going to be home before you fly back?
a minute. I'll tell you off stream.
Oh,
You're
that's
off
fair. Yeah,
recording.
Totally fair. Yeah.
She's literally in 60 seconds leaving. So she'll be back in Canada soon.
But I will
Well, we
say
gotta
it's
talk
been
about this
lovely
movie real
going
quick.
outside and seeing bears. And, yesterday I was sitting in the house and I was watching the security camera out of the corner of my eye and I saw 2 big bears. So I posted them on Twitter and,
I mean, make sure you ask the hairy gay men if you're allowed to call them bears, Ken, because that's something that I don't know if you saw this. It was like I saw it right around the same time I saw your post. And I don't know if like my Twitter algorithm was thinking because I was seeing your post that I need to see more of it. This guy had like they were having a picnic or something in their front yard, and like this bear walked in, and he like held the gate and was like, oh, "You need to leave, bear," and the bear just walked off. And I'm just like,
yeah, was it a black bear?
yeah.
Yeah, black bears are like they're like big dogs. As long as you don't want to fuck around with them because they can always turn on a dime. But they're like big dogs. Like there's
Are
that
black-
woman on TikTok who's got a black bear that lives outside of her house, and he just opens the door and she'll be like, "Okay, close the door," and he'll grab the knob with his mouth and pull the door shut.
Are they the ones that like used to wrestle people back in the day? Black bears, I wonder. I do wonder.
I don't know.
I'm wondering if that's what they used to wrestle.
I just know
people.
that they're getting into stuff. We had one get stuck on the porch. She got in through the screen room
So-
and couldn't get out. And
Dude, my this dude I work with, he was showing me like footage. He lives like right by my work, and he was showing me like his like Ring camera of this black bear, just like removing the fence from his fucking thing, so like the bear could get in and start like eating his trash, and so now he has to keep his trash outside of the fence because bears are like, that's my food and I'm gonna eat it. And you
yeah,
basically
we can't put our trash outside at all. Like
Yeah.
at all.
I mean,
So.
you don't even have trash pickup.
We don't have trash pickup.
Do you have trash pickup in Canada?
In Canada, they have trash pickup and recycling pickup. Don't have trash pickup here.
Oh, don't worry. Soon you'll probably have like the 10 Commandments in every classroom there because that's.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I'm pretty sure they were there.
Oh
when I
my
was in
gosh,
school.
yeah.
If you don't know,
Yeah.
America is a fucking hellhole, and
Hey, it's okay though because the Democrat or the president's got his -6 or 6 handicap and Trump's got whatever handicap. So that's all we needed to know.
Yep.
During the debate.
Yep.
And to be honest, I feel much safer knowing the handicap of my president.
I mean,
his
considering
golf
Trump is the worst cheating golfer of all time, it doesn't.
I can't believe
Gee,
you say
I
that.
wonder
Disgusting.
wonder how many people are actually surprised to know that Trump probably cheats at golf.
It's no. There's no probably about that because
Yeah.
people. I've heard stories about people go, I played golf with him because I wanted to have my own Trump cheating at golf stories, and people just like.
All the people that took the mugshot of Trump and then put never surrender on everything. Does that not make you laugh since he had to turn himself in to have that photo taken? Now they're selling collectible trading cards. I was watching, Antenna TV upstairs and I was like, really? $20?
Dude, I mean,
Cults, man.
do you know that there are people that like who started one? I don't know if you heard it, but like during the debate the other night, they had one active mic and Trump was talking and you heard a fart. So Trump
He
farted or shit his pants.
He farted or
like,
shit his pants. Yes.
He does that.
I mean, after the whole time he was in trial and he was farting every day. Also, the people that used to work with him were like talking about how he used to shit his pants. So like that's why
he wears diapers and he just shits himself, and it's like because part of it's like because of all the drug abuse and like everything he's ever been on, and like he can't even tell anymore. It just like falls out of his asshole.
Yeah.
Yep. And you talk about me being able to fit like 4 raccoons up my asshole, and here we are. And I haven't even been president. And here we are.
That's the takeaway. Johnston 2028. All
I
right.
mean,
Rod Johnston
I mean, if that's all
2028.
it takes.
I'm gonna say fuck way more than any of those motherfuckers. So here we go.
Yeah.
And I have somewhat of integrity, I suppose. I guess. So here we go. Let's go, motherfuckers. No, dude. I don't think that there's like much they could do for the system that would go. Yeah, just burn it to the ground. Burn it to the fucking ground.
I just can't imagine anyone watching that debate and being like, yes, they did a great job. It's gonna be, they made great valid points. No, neither
what?
one of them.
They
We
did
had
it-
one guy that told mostly truths slowly and stutteringly and hoarsely. And then we had one guy confidently lying about everything.
bashing everybody.
And so it's like it's one of those things where you're just like, wow, these are our options.
You know what they did?
Not proud of any of them.
No.
You know what they did?
But I do know where I'm casting my vote.
They made me even happier that I got a vasectomy last year. That's what they were succeeded at that. They were like, yeah, and I was like, yeah, I am happy that there won't be putting children into this hellscape we call America. So here we go. Ken,
America.
I have to
Fuck
ask,
Speaking-
how is America after being
Speaking
this-
of America, there's a reason that this loops in with that, and I'm not positive how it is, so it doesn't matter, honestly. Did you know that when they did the Toxic Avenger release back in 2023, and it was like limited showing, and it was supposed to get picked up, and that there's nobody who will distribute it now, and like nobody will show it anywhere, so it's just sitting on a shelf somewhere, which is why we don't have it.
Yeah,
What
I
kind of
know.
bullshit is that? I want to watch Toxic
So,
Avenger, and then people were like, "Oh, it's too edgy."
I can't
Bitch,
believe
we have the boys.
Shudder, I can't believe Shudder hasn't just tried to snatch that up.
Yeah.
I don't understand why. We have a fully filmed Toxic Avenger movie that got good reviews when they screened it.
You know
that
what?
has Peter Dinklage and Kevin Bacon in it.
And Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood, yes, thank you. And people don't want to distribute that.
Guess what?
That's fucking
You
asinine.
want to hear what's even crazier than that? A YouTuber I watch sometimes. His name is Cody Leachman, I think is his last name.
I know who you're talking about.
He saw it at at festival or something, and he was like, they downgraded the shit from the original. Like it's not even as offensive as the original movie, and they're still like, no one. And I'm like, but you guys will put Terrifier out in theaters and act like it's the greatest thing since sliced bread,
and in a violent nature.
Yeah,
which it has kills just as graphic and gruesome.
By the way, we're doing that next week. We're gonna do that next week of the podcast.
Okay, that's cool. Because I have seen it, so yeah.
Either that or we're gonna do Maxine in case Ken is going off to adventure to see Maxine.
I am.
I'm really excited to watch Maxine. I'm so excited.
It's funny. Every review of Maxine I've seen has been good, but IGN gave it a 5, and I'm like, well, good. IGN's reviews.
Yeah, IGN.
I mean, it's a review. I wasn't worried about it either because everyone else I was like saying really good things. I'm like, also, I am really weirded out because I don't know if either one of you know that like Ty West is. His fiance is a EDM artist named Allison Wonderland, whatever her fucking name is, who's actually pretty good. Like she comes to Red Rocks every once in a while, like once a year. And I'm like, she's in the movie too, and I'm like, that's kind of weird. It's like getting into Rob Zombie territory where putting your significant other. She's a pretty lady though, but
yeah, but see, she probably can act.
I wonder what that line.
To be fair, okay, Sherry Moon Zombie can act. She has a character, but maybe it's time we just take that little cute hat off and hang it on the wall and let someone else do it.
I mean, yeah. It's very
She's
true.
kind of beating that horse to the ground. It has nothing to do with age. It has nothing to do with any of that. That character's been beat.
Have you two watched Rob Zombie's Monsters?
Yes.
No, I refuse.
Okay.
I refuse.
We should totally talk about that.
I think I've watched every other zombie movie, but I've never watched that because I'm like, one, I have no connection to the original, and then B, it's like, Can I say B when I said 1? Maybe. Is
Yeah,
it like
You can do whatever the hell you want.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was like, when I started seeing the reviews, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna waste my time because it
It's
was
not good.
yeah. I heard the same thing as everything
It's-
else, where it's like his dialogue sucks and his characters aren't
Uh,
like good.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah.
But I'd love to talk about it one day. I
We'll
love
put it
talking
on the
about
list.
bad movies.
A list. Okay.
Yeah,
Ken,
cool.
what in your adventures back in America that now that you're in the free world again outside of Canada, have you been watching anything in America? In America.
America, fuck yeah. Not really. I've done a lot of go 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 go. Like I've been to the mall like every day. I've been cooking a lot. So like I haven't really watched anything. I did start watching a very cheesy romantic comedy thing a little while ago, but like other than
Called
that, I
Game of
haven't really
Thrones.
What was that?
Game of Thrones.
What was that, Ken?
It's got Anne Hathaway in it, and she plays a 40-year-old single mom who gets hit on by a boy from a boy band who's like 24 or something. I don't remember what it's called. I think it's like Thinking of You or something. I don't know. Listen, okay, it's good so far, and it makes my insides feel things.
Is that the one where I was seeing the memes about
My
sucking,
insides feel things.
saying things about wanting to suck mommy's titties and like to older women or something like that? Because there
I
were
have
memes,
no idea.
but like I saw memes of Anne Hathaway, and also I might have followed a lot of really kinky Twitter accounts because I'm a very, very single man. So there's a thing that's just going on. But here we are. Here we
It's
are.
beautiful.
It is beautiful. Ken, you keep freezing, by the way, and you keep freezing.
You just got really framey for me. I bet it's me.
Yeah.
It's you for sure. Because you keep freezing on the ninja thing, and I'm just like, you've made some ridiculous faces to freeze in, and I've appreciated every second of it.
You're
Brian,
welcome.
have you been watching anything?
You know what I've been watching?
Dead ass.
You know what I've been watching?
What?
Oh hell yeah, let's go.
I've been watching Twitter because the greatest things have finally been happening over here in
You
Twitter
mean
land
you mean the
and
worst things?
on the tube of you and on the Twitch, which you know, I know that's where you make your money, Ken. But you're a good content creator, and you're not a sack of shit.
Ken's
But,
never.
Yeah, I've been enjoying the fallout that is Dr. Disrespect's pedophile shit fucking bag ass finally getting exposed.
Yep.
And getting it completely demonetized on YouTube, which is fucking glorious. And then I got to watch Nick Merckx have a fucking meltdown because his transphobic fucking piece of shit ass finally slipped up and he got banned on Twitch, but it's probably just a temporary ban.
It's like a 30-day thing, but yeah, probably.
But he doubled down on the fucking shit because
Uh-huh.
he's a fucking complete
I mean,
narcissist. These two fucking narcissistic fucking scumbags.
Yeah.
Just don't even realize they think they're so above everything, and they think they can get away with doing all of this shit, this horrible fucking shit.
Yeah.
And they think they're completely devoid of. They're impervious to any kind of reprehensible kind of
action they've
fuck, I don't
committed.
even know how to say it. I hate them so
Yeah.
fucking much,
Dude, I mean, if you're such a piece of shit that you've decided that you can use your station in life to fucking do things to 17-year-olds. Also, I don't know if you guys saw the trans the pretty trans lady who does OnlyFans or whatever and stuff, and had like the conversation.
and thank you, yeah, she is beautiful.
Yeah,
she's
she-
Yeah,
gorgeous.
she's pretty.
She has the conversation where, what did he say? Dr. Disrespect said, "I'm gripping it now," or something
dude,
like that.
he's so cringe. He literally typed out the word "boom"
Yep.
for when he fucking finishes. What kind of fucking incel? what literally thinks the word "boom" is fucking hot?
Dude, that's Patrick Bateman
That
in
is
2024.
so That is so Dr. Disrespect.
I mean,
that is
it's
so fucking Dr. That's the thing that cracks me up is because his fucking clown fucking fans will try to defend him and say, "Oh, it's a character." Guys, you're a fucking character because that's not a character. That's him.
That's
in
him.
a
That's
fucking
him.
wig.
Okay.
That is who he is at his core.
Yeah.
There has never been one fucking ounce of acting performed by that fucking clown.
Yeah.
Okay, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's a fucking he's
Dude.
a walking pile of fucking garbage.
Can't you see Patrick Bateman like from that scene in American Psycho going boom when he comes? He's like,
Dude, that would be so American. That would be. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think next time I'm gonna watch that, I'm just gonna say it for him.
You just say boom. See, this is the thing, and it's always the fucking scenario. Those who are screaming about shit the loudest are always
protect
the ones.
The kids.
Yeah.
You got to protect the kids. And lo and behold, what do they need protected from? They need protected by
from
old
Doctor's
fucking
perspective.
white guys.
Yeah. Dude, it's
old
always
old narcissistic fucking white guys.
Dude,
those are the fucking ones you got to worry about.
The public figures who scream the loudest about everything are the ones you always have to fucking look at. And it's just like been the case.
Anybody that wants to fucking idolize and worship somebody like Nick Merckx or Dr. Disrespect, let's take Nick Merckx for example, because I've already piled enough shit. Well, no, there's trust me.
There's no you could continue for another hour.
Nick Merckx, if it wasn't for Twitch or YouTube or the fact that he's decent at Gears of War, that big dumb fucking douchey fucking meathead would just be a fucking trainer at Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all he would fucking be.
Dude,
that's the only other thing that he could amount to.
He's the exact opposite of Kin, where Kin is like could be doing like because she's got this accounting degree and all these she's an actual smart person and like almost valedictorian, and if Twitch wasn't there, she would still be a successful individual. It's like
you're valedictorian, Kin.
No, she was. Oh, you didn't hear this?
Like
oh,
I was top 10% in National Honor Society president. And
Kin lost valedictorian because her parents made her take driver's education in high school, and she missed.
I was a junior. I'd already been driving for a year, and I had to take. In order to qualify, I had to take physics it didn't matter what I took, but I needed to take physics for something else. But my parents were like, no, you need to do driver's ed. And I was like, oh, fine, whatever. I got a B on my first 6 weeks because I fucked up one exam and it pulled me from it because it was the only B I had gotten by that point in high school. Like I had not had anything below an A until then with all my honors classes, dual enrollment, all that shit. And so I lost valedictorian. I got pulled out.
No, I'd be furious.
Yeah, so
then I was just like, fuck it. I don't care. I got into college. I don't give a shit. Like,
so my whole point is that
here we are.
The amount of people who are, I don't hang out with most of the time with people that like, that's why they're successful because like Classic Katie, she was a fucking respiratory therapist. I hang out with people that like have like Ken was a fucking smart motherfucker who did other shit and just decided that content creation was the thing she could do and just kicked ass at it. So it's like you have like people like that douche nozzle who are only successful because they're good at a game.
His whole empire to burn
the
fucking ground.
And it's funny because we have like as I'm watching like people that like I've never watched him, but like I see what's his name? Is it iShowSpeed? Ken, what the fuck is his name?
Something about that.
Yeah,
I think
Speed.
It's iShowSpeed.
Yeah, I've been watching his his adventuring across Europe for like and like doing all that stuff, and he keeps showing up at WrestleMania because he's friends with Logan Paul, and I'm like, and this motherfucker seems like a generally good dude from what I could gather from.
He seems all right.
Yeah, it seems like there's like I don't know. It's just like, man, I don't know. It's that cults of personality thing where like these people
I can't stand it. And the thing that the reason I'm so pissed off about it is because Nick Merckx hid his true colors for a long time. I actually subbed to him for almost 2 years.
Yeah,
a long time ago, and I started getting some bad vibes, and then he fucking the first thing when he dropped, they need to leave kids alone. I was just like, oh god, you're
it's
one
just
of those fucking
it's the MAGA
and then it's
bullshit.
and then it just started getting worse and worse and worse and fucking worse. And yeah, fuck that
Dude,
fucking guy.
dude,
I can't
that's-
stand him.
That's why I laughed so
And then
hard.
his stupid incel fucking fans are like, he ain't even gonna notice the Twitch ban money. He's got generational wealth, and I'm like, first of all, no, he doesn't. He does not have generational wealth. Yeah, he's done really well and he's made a lot of money.
Dude.
But guess what? That motherfucker owns 2 massive homes.
Yeah.
2 massive homes, one in Florida and one in Michigan. If he got permanently banned from Twitch, his lifestyle would completely change.
Yeah.
Because he's got to pay upkeep. You know those houses ain't paid off.
Yeah.
He's making payments on those fucking houses.
Because they're
His
not buying.
whole
Yeah.
lifestyle would change.
Yeah. They're not
And
buying houses
that's
that
what I
they can
want to
afford.
happen. Because I want to
immediately.
see him in 10 years doing what he was meant to be fucking doing and telling somebody their form is wrong when they're doing these fucking curls. Because that's all he is fucking really good at. Other than playing Gears of War. Fuck that guy.
Yep. Dude, it's funny because Twitch is such a oddity of like performance and whatever, but like, dude, all the people that like get caught up on like just being that their whole persona is that they're good at games, a lot of them are not good at game. I mean, they're not good at life. And
No,
it's just
right.
like-
He's
yeah.
one of them. Yeah. I hope his wife fucking leaves him. Oh, I hope she takes the kid and runs.
Yeah. Dude, I just-
man,
I
I
mean,
can't
yeah.
stand him.
Yeah,
He's pissed me off so fucking
Yeah.
bad. Fuck that guy. Fuck him.
Fuck him.
Dr.
Fuck
Disrespect.
him.
My
I'm
favorite,
waiting.
my favorite thing that's come out of this, and not my favorite, but just something that I found interesting, is there are different, threads all over the place of commentary going on left and right, and they're all shitty. Like, I mean, not all shitty. A lot of people are doing a great job of calling it out, but the
Yeah.
ones that get me are the guys that are like, since when is grooming illegal?
Oh my god.
Those, like, I
Oh,
screenshotted
you
one
fucking
of them, and I
clowns,
sent it
you.
to a few people, including like this girl that I follow on Twitter that, like, she's amazing. Anyway, I was like, this man said this with his whole fucking chest. Follow up with it, somebody was like, well, all that's going to change in November when Trump gets into office. And I
Oh,
was like, what? So now you're going to be like a bunch of pedophiles because of that? Like, what? Like,
I mean,
don't
I'm
do
telling
that.
you,
Trump-
man.
Trump
it's
wants to
the-
fuck his
the
Trump
fuck-
wants to fuck his own daughter. So
Dude,
I mean,
Trump so hard wants to fuck his daughter.
Yep. So
Trump 1000% wants to fuck his daughter.
It's-
there's no denying that.
I just think
He
that, like,
absolutely wants to.
and that's why that the boys episodes this season have hit these motherfuckers so hard because they get so called out.
They are, yeah. I
You need
haven't
to watch it.
I haven't
'cause
seen
keep
them,
hearing
but
that.
I've been reading a lot of like information in the reviews and things like that, and like the right
Dude.
side, the super far right people fucking hate it.
Dude,
And I'm like,
The last
yeah,
episode,
good.
remember Pizzagate? They had a whole thing about Pizzagate where the guy came into this thing acting like they were hiding kids in the pizza menu and shit like that, just like that shit. And I'm just like, wow, and these people are so fucking stupid. They have a whole fucking like character called Firecracker who is just like alt-right media hillbilly garbage. And you're
Yeah.
just like, yep. Okay, let's talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 because I love
feel
this
better.
film. And I just want to say that Toby Hooper did very, very good things making this movie, and I just think I just love the idea that this motherfucker made a black comedy in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and nobody realized it. So he was like, "Fine, I will
So he
slap
just
you."
doubled down on it.
Yeah, he was like, "Fine, I will slap you motherfuckers in the face with this bullshit, and maybe you'll get it this time." And I mean, if I have the poster on the video recording of the Breakfast Club poster that they made
I have
with
that right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's on the video recording this week. So, yeah, if that wasn't enough, like you just go, then you just weren't smart enough to get this, and here we are. Because some people thought that Homelander was a good guy. By the way, if you've never heard Homelander talk, he's from New Zealand. I was just watching.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, I was watching
He
a
was in
Hot Ones.
Cobweb, and he's so
Yeah.
good in Cobweb.
Yeah,
Man
he
Oh,
is.
is he? Okay.
all the
Nice.
time.
Yeah, him and dude Cobweb. We talked about it like last year, Brian. And that movie, we all really, really enjoyed it until like they decided that just being a PG-13 scary movie wasn't good enough, and then yeah, so. But yeah, it was just it's odd hearing the guy talking in his New Zealand accent, but yes, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 came out in 1970 or
1987.
1987. Yeah, or
87, I think.
yeah,
I
which
got it right here.
I was trying to think of
86.
86. I was trying to do the math on Grandpa, and Grandpa was born in approximately 1850. If you do that, because they said he was 136 years old. So Grandpa was born in 1850. That was my math that I did while watching this movie today. Again, because I watched it twice, didn't pay attention last night because I was texting a lady and watching it. Because I've watched this movie like 6 times already in the last 5 years or so, but kind of love this movie. But I just think that like Stretch is one of my favorite scream queens of all time because she just runs around and like screams like in the most ridiculous fashion for like half this movie. And then
Oh, she
every
was in
time
Renfield.
what
Sorry. She was in Renfield.
was she?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, every time I watch this movie, I forget that like literally half the fucking movie takes place in the Texas carnival place, whatever the fuck it's called. Like, you look at you pause this movie at exactly the moment where like Dennis like
Hopper.
Hopper like pulls up his car on Stretch, and it's like 50 minutes or like 50, like it's like almost halfway through the movie, and the last half of this movie takes place entirely in because it's I think like I the first time I watched this movie I was like it doesn't feel like it's that much of the film, but it's literally like half of the fucking film takes place in this underground thing.
Yeah.
And I just
The other half takes part in the radio station.
well, yeah,
Pretty
most of
much.
it. Yeah, I mean besides the dude,
The longest bridge in the
yeah,
history of
I was just gonna
Yeah.
say that the longest. I was in Ken's chat. What was it this morning or whatever? Ken talking about the
Yeah.
longest bridge in history. It is. You're sitting there watching this. I'm like, how long is this bridge? And also, I don't know if about you guys. Every time where they start pulling the chainsaw out, from the truck, and the guys continue to go the same speed as the truck.
Yeah, that was my thought.
And just like 1, 2, how rich were those motherfuckers that in 1986 they had a cell phone and in their in their car?
Yeah. Yeah, they had a car phone.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
well, that and the cook of the Sawyer family has one in his fucking
Yeah.
his food truck.
He could have killed somebody and turned them into
Yeah.
fucking chili that, and they had one.
But he still has to pay for it monthly or pay for it like whatever,
Well,
right?
If he just got it, then it had service for a couple of months before they cut it off. I'm gonna punch holes in every single problem you have, Rod.
Not real problem.
You know why?
Just
Because
why
this movie's perfect.
it is.
It's
It is.
fucking-
Just as a heads up, for those of you that do not know the synopsis, a radio host is victimized by a cannibal family as the former Texas Marshal hunts them.
Lefty.
I have to laugh because Dennis Hopper has been quoted saying this is the worst movie he's ever been in, and I'm just like, no, I don't think so, my friend. I don't think so. Like, Dennis Hopper hates this movie, and I'm just like, but you're like, it's funny because he is the best thing in this entire movie besides the.
He's one of them. That's for damn sure. I
Stretch.
do like me some Lefty in this.
Yeah, it is the love story between Leatherface and Stretch is the best love story of all time, but him being like the most like
Rapey?
what you froze again, and so like you this was you on the screen, you're like this, and then you talked and your face didn't move, and I just laughed because I'm like, bussy. What?
No, I said rapey.
He doesn't look he doesn't ever seem rapey to me. He seems
No, not at all. Not in the slightest.
No, not with that chainsaw.
no, the rapey one with the chainsaw is Leatherface because that whole fucking scene.
Yeah.
And the first time I ever saw this movie, and where Leatherface starts chainsawing her like with her legs over that like thing of like with ice and pop cans, is the most rapey.
I do have some questions. Why did they just have a big ass cooler filled with ice and soda and
Well, I mean, because if they've got
It's
like guests
just
over, maybe they didn't
but
have a
that's
fridge.
gonna be melted by the time. Like that's a
Oh,
lot.
there's a
They
lot.
just keep it like that all the fucking time. Don't get me
Everything,
wrong. That's awesome if they do. And
ev-
mad
everything,
props.
everything with food in this movie is weird, Brian. Let's be honest,
A little
because
bit.
the chili cook winner person lady eats like gets a fingernail in her mouth and what do you call him?
He
Calls
calls
it
it
just like it's like
Peppercorn.
a peppercorn, yeah,
Peppercorn seed or some shit like that,
peppercorn,
yeah.
I think it was a whole damn finger. I don't think it was just a nail.
whatever it
Like
was.
I thought it was a tooth. I thought it was a fucking.
I don't
Would have
think
been
it
a
was a-
very long tooth, which would have made sense.
It looked like a part of a finger, but I don't know
Yeah,
what
you're
the fuck
probably
it
right.
was.
It's probably part of a phone.
Yeah, and then she says, "Oh, ho, ho, it's just a finger." Oh,
It's so gross because they pour so much of chili in it, and it's
Yeah.
all fucking pouring out and flopping on his shit.
I-
It's so
I-
disgusting.
Well, it goes from that. Like, I mean, I just laugh at
That
the
and
whole.
we know it's humans too.
Yeah, I mean, I just laugh at Dennis Hopper like living in his college dorm apartment or whatever was happening, and just like I just imagine him trying to jerk off and like. The fucking the college football students are all like yelling and screaming, and he can't even finish because like, quiet down there! I'm trying to jerk off. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm trying to finish. I'm trying to finish. Let me
I
alone.
thought you said, "What are you doing, tuna fish?" And I
Yeah.
was really confused.
I mean, if Dennis Hopper wants to jerk off the tuna fishes, it's none of my business, Ken.
I mean, that's valid, I guess.
It's none of my business. I don't know. I just think him like answer like okay. This is a question I've had, and I want to know if either one of you has ever had this question. How come no one's ever eaten this chili and gone, this isn't beef and this isn't pork?
It takes all kinds of critters to make Farmer Vincent's critters. So I mean,
It takes all kinds of critters to make fart skin. Yeah.
I don't know anybody that's ate human.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't think you guys do either. I would assume probably not. So I have no idea what it tastes like, but I can imagine it probably don't taste like cow,
Yeah.
pig,
Well,
turkey.
It supposedly tastes like
chicken.
it supposedly tastes like pork is what the saying is, but like
So they say that humans taste like swine.
yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So somebody.
that's why they call it
said-
long pig.
So that's why. So then they thought it was a pork-based chili. Is what they thought.
I mean maybe I guess I don't know. Yeah, I
I
supposedly.
want pulled pork now.
I mean you do.
That
live-
probably says more about me than I'm prepared to really reflect on. Is it?
I mean it says that Brian loves food.
pulled pork. I do.
He
love
loves
food.
pulling his pork. Yes.
But here's the question: do you like a vinegar-based barbecue sauce, or whatever the fuck the other one is called? Because I can never remember. Mustard.
Yeah, there's mustard based in vinegar. I'm actually more of a rub guy, which feeds into more.
Like
of
to
what we're
rub
using.
the pork. Okay.
Yeah, I like it's all about the rub for me. But being in Kansas City, their barbecue is primarily sauce based. I think mostly mustard, which is fine. I like we got really good barbecue in Kansas City. We got a lot of really good barbecue places, and my favorite one happens to be Joe's Kansas City Barbecue. It's just happens to be my favorite. Yeah, that's where I'll go and eat. But the best barbecue I actually ever had personally was in Memphis.
Yeah.
Walking in Memphis.
Yeah, I was walking with my feet
Up off the
10 feet
ground.
off the Beale, and I actually was on Beale Street, and I ate at this place I think it was called The Pig, is what I think it was called, and it was the best pulled pork sandwich I ever had in my life. Amazing.
I've been down
it was
there.
very rub. It was all about the rub. And you didn't even need to put sauce on it.
All
It
about
is
the
all about that
rub. Would you? Would you?
Not the
Would you?
tug, the rub.
Rub me, daddy.
Ooh. Ooh. No, I mean, Can I want to know though, because I know in your investigation, how much did they spend making Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2?
They had a set budget, but then it got cut a few times, and it ended up being 4.5, somewhere between 4.5 and 4.7 million dollars.
I mean,
With the initial box office hitting 8 million, but then there was conversation that it was sold to Japan. It was pre-sold to Japan for 21 million, on a condition that they met a particular guideline premiere. It did not see any of the 21 million pre-sale on screen or behind camera. The sequel is still infrequently considered a box office flop. The film not only turned a profit during its initial theatrical run, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 was Cannon's second highest grossing picture of the year, behind Runaway Train.
That's a good movie.
I don't know if I know that one.
Runaway Train's a really good movie. I love that we're talking about this because I have a soft spot for pretty much anything canon and anything that Menahem Golan and Yoram Globus touched. I will happily watch.
I mean,
they're usually awful in the best ways because like these are the guys that made like Cobra.
I was gonna say
and
Cobra
Delta
is the
Force,
every time we talked about
Masters of the
canon,
universe,
Dude,
over the top.
most
Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo. Like,
Here's
these are
Brian.
bad movies, and I love every fucking
Here-
one of them.
Here is raw trivia information for you. The first movie I ever saw in the theater was Masters of the Universe when I was 5 years old.
I love that.
In
You
1988.
lucky young man.
I don't
You
I don't remember.
lucky child.
I don't remember any of that film besides Dolph
I think
Lundgren.
I went. I think I went and saw that in the theater. I think my mom took me to see that in the theater. I can't remember.
He-Man
It's been
is
long.
the gayest character of all time, and I love every second of it. But
Yeah.
like he dresses like a male stripper, but he carries
Fuck
around
yeah.
his hard dick. But since it was a cartoon, he couldn't carry around his hard dick, so it was just a big old sword. And then he fucked that little fruity thing, that little twink.
Orko?
Yeah, he was a little twink, and he fucked the little twink, and but they couldn't do that on the cartoon, so they made it. No.
You're so weird.
You just realizing that, Brian, after all the time we've known each other, that I'm weird.
All these
I mean,
years.
it is. If me talking about He-Man fucking the little Twinkie, the side character is a revelation to you, then here we are, Brian. Here we are in 2024 talking about He-Man fucking a twink, and here we are. But no, this movie, I just think it's hysterical that Dennis Hopper, after he had a weird 80s, man. If he so you sit there and you think about Dennis Hopper, and it's that thing where I think people think of him and they think of two movies, right? They think of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and they think of Poltergeist. I would assume that's what most
Did you say
average-
Dennis Hopper and Poltergeist?
not Dennis Hopper, Toby Hooper.
Oh,
is
you
what
said
I-
Toby Hooper. Okay.
Okay, I might have said Dennis Hopper. I don't fucking know, but Toby Hooper and Texas Chainsaw and Poltergeist are the two things I would associate with him. But his 80s film collection is pretty wild, and Life Force is still on my list of movies I need to actually sit down and watch it because I've never watched it.
I actually love that movie.
Ken, have you ever watched Life Force?
No.
It's about space vampires and this very, very pretty lady who runs around
Oh,
naked.
she's gorgeous.
For most of the movie is just naked, just annihilating humankind.
Matilda Moon, I think, is her name,
Yeah,
and she's beautiful. She's
But-
so pretty.
I it's Toby Hooper is not he's very much seems like most of his films after Texas Chainsaw Massacre don't get the attention that they actually deserve. I think this movie is fucking fantastic, but it's he's just Poltergeist and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's it feels like the only things that people really know him for, right? If you're not a giant horror
Yeah.
fanatic.
Yeah, he had an odd. He did have an odd '80s because he he directed some really. God, he directed some good shit. Like the Fun House is super cool. Life Force, I said, I
Yeah.
like that. There's a movie that's really hard to find called Spontaneous Combustion that he wrote and directed. That has
Yeah, I
Brad
was just
Dourif
looking
in
at
it,
that.
and it's really fucking hard to find. I would love to talk about that one day. I've seen it once when I was very young and have never been able to find it streaming anywhere.
Was it his direct to
Um,
DVD or direct to VHS kind of film?
you know, I don't remember. I think I want to say, um, I want to say it saw a theatrical release, but yeah, it came out in
Spontaneous
1990.
combustion.
Spontaneous Combustion. Oh, apparently it's free to watch on Tubi now. Finally, nice.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching that tonight. But yeah, it's only got like a 19% on Rotten Tomatoes. Clearly, it's not great. But yeah, we're not that we're talking about that movie, but apparently it did see a theatrical release, I guess.
I just
Um,
I just like talking about him because he's such a director who's done a lot of fucking kind of like iconic films that like that, but you look at his fucking collection of like things, and dude, especially at the end, he was doing a lot of schlocky direct to DVD or yeah kind of things where you're just like, I've
yeah,
never heard of any of these things. Like it is like he's doing things like Crocodile and Shadow Realm, which is a TV movie, Taken, Night Vision. It's like shit. There's like toolbox murders and shit like that, and it's just like shit. You're like, man, this man made Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and he's doing shit that you go, what the fuck? And it's just like, it just shows you where like Hollywood is very much always of the "what have you done for me lately" thing, and if you fuck some shit up, or your shit isn't successful, then you're making the toolbox murders like
yeah,
as an older man, and it's just like, god damn, man. And it makes me laugh because I was watching a video about someone who's rating all of John Carpenter's films, and it was Cody Leach, the guy we were just talking about, but he was
Mhm.
he was rating all his movies, and I'm gonna go, or like ranking them, and I go, man, John Carpenter is the fucking like goat, man, because this motherfucker did what he wanted to, and when he got tired of it, like directing and shit, he's like, fuck it. He hasn't directed since his last film came out in like 2010 or something, 2008. Like it's been like,
Yeah. I think John Carpenter's last film was The Ward.
yep,
If I'm
it was the
researching
ward.
correctly.
Yeah, and you
No.
just went, no, I'm not doing anymore. I mean, he could be
He
direct.
did direct a series for Peacock, though.
What was that?
What was that called? Let me pull that up
Because I
real
didn't know he
quick.
did that.
Yeah, he did. John Carpenter Peacock series. It was called The Suburban Screams, is what it's called.
Yeah, I was trying to find it. I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's a horror series.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't received well, of course. Rotten Tomatoes shit all over it, but
I mean,
and I honestly I haven't watched it myself to see if it's
He
very
did
good. I
one
think I
called The
started.
Zoo.
I mean, it's been a long time. Like I said, his last directing thing wasn't that like I thought like his last directing film was The Ward that we just talked about. That was with Amber Heard, which just shows you because Amber Heard hasn't been in the positive Hollywood light in a very long time.
It's
Oh,
probably
wow.
because her dog stepped on a bee.
It might have something to do with that. It also might have something to do with the whole Johnny Depp thing. But I mean,
I don't know anything about this. Tell me about it.
Never heard of her.
I've never
I
heard
think-
of either of these people, actually.
I think they had a disagreement, and then
okay.
and then legally,
And
just
then we all suffered through it the whole time. Got
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
I did.
Got it.
Can you imagine being a celebrity and like you're like you break up with your partner and then you're in court talking about shitting in bed and it's just becoming like a it's does Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, man? I don't know, man. I don't think Johnny Depp is nearly the actor a lot of people obviously think he is. I think that the last thing he did was really any good was was him being Jack Sparrow, and that was just him kind of being drunky. But like,
I don't know.
No,
Did you ever watch
his
Black Mass?
His greatest work, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt, best should have won like every award out there. Was in Tusk.
okay, we're gonna be looking for a
We
third
knew
mic
that
on the.
was coming.
We're gonna
Like, you
we're gonna
could
be
not
we're gonna be
honestly
looking
sit
for
there
a
and
third
tell me
mic
you
on the
did not know.
podcast now. Ken has some mental health issues she's gonna need to deal with.
Help Wanted Murder Moose podcast.
Help wanted.
I love you, Ken. I can never get rid of you. No, yeah. After the shit we talked about a couple weeks ago, yeah, I don't think he's good. Have you
ever seen Black Mass though?
Where he was like the gangster from the like.
Yeah,
I
I'm not
never
gonna lie,
saw
he was
it.
pretty good in that actually.
I don't think so. I haven't seen it, and I don't care to see it. I just think that like the whole. I have a fucking problem with the whole like Tim Burton and like him and Johnny Depp fucking each other repeatedly on screen, and it not mattering how good anything either one of them was doing, that they just kept doing the same shit over and over and over again. It was like, okay, Tim Burton,
Yeah,
just
they
because
work together a lot.
just because you made
I'm surprised
Beetlejuice,
Johnny Depp was not in Big Fish.
yeah,
I'm
I-
very
Probably was
surprised
just
that
uncredited. He was probably playing his Tusk character in the background.
he was probably a French guy, yeah, a French guy. I just say it's the opening of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 with the two kids getting fucked up by one. I don't know if I'd ever put two and two together watching this film that these idiots caused themselves to be murdered because they thought that playing chicken with the Sawyer family was a good idea. Because
Wait, why wouldn't you not figure that out?
I just don't know if I ever put two and two together while watching it because I'm Rod and I'm ADHD as fuck, Ken, and I don't know if I ever put together that was their truck that they were playing. Ken, I don't know, why do you do the things you do, huh, Ken?
For attention. I don't understand the question.
I mean, I want attention also, so here we are. But like, it's such a like that opening is such a thing like where they're like, oh, okay, there was no gore in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and then they immediately go to cutting a dude's like head off, like it's like I don't know what kind of movie, but you just
cutting
like
it open.
Yeah,
That was
and I'm here
glorious.
for it.
I mean, it's Tom Savini did the practical effects in this movie, and it's like, I still don't think there are a whole lot of practical effects in this movie. I mean, it's mostly in the like that scene and then the very end of the movie where everyone's getting their asshole and bellies cut open, like repeatedly.
Did you know that there's only men that get killed in this one, and there's an 8 body count?
That makes sense because the two kids in the opening, and then LG, was that his name? LG, like
Leroy Jenkins cowboy hat.
Yeah, that dude who, dude, his scenes are fucking. Okay, why is he building a house out of French fries? And why does he have that many French fries and he's not eating them? Who fucking really knows? This motherfucker's like he's got like 8 different types of French fries and he's building a fucking.
Do you think I'm sorry, do you think Adam Sandler pulled his idea for the waffle cabin in 50 First Dates from Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 French Fry House?
Maybe.
Conspiracy theory.
Maybe. Also, I am very excited for Happy Gilmore 2, and if it sucks, I may jump in front of a moving train because I love Happy Gilmore. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I just heard that today. Yeah, I hadn't
I didn't
heard.
even know it was happening.
Yeah, they're making a Happy
apparently
Gilmore
that's
2.
happening.
Yep. That was the first one. 2. What like I laugh at what do you call her calling the music she plays on her music station headbanging music every single time. I'm like, headbanging? What, like, I don't know what you're playing. 3.
Rock and roll.
Yeah. What was Leatherface doing in the record room that like when he runs out like full speed with his chainsaw and hitting Bill Moseley Chop Top in the head, and just like the maniac that he is, and he just why did you leave Leatherface? You can't take Leatherface to a record station and go tell him to go explore the record room. without like the lights being on, Leatherface has a lot of heart, but isn't the brightest crayon in the box, and so you leave him in there and to go around and cause these problems. 2, number 3. That was a 4. So number 4. I like to tell you guys my personal fan fiction of Dennis Hopper, that they recorded the chainsaw scene where he buys the chainsaws in a real chainsaw store, and they just let this guy like they let Dennis Hopper go in there, and they're just like, we're gonna record this, just act natural, and he's just like the looks he's giving Dennis Hopper when he's doing his like chainsaw checking out and doing all these things is magical, and I love. It's
It's
magical.
pretty wonderful.
I like to live in that world.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking
This-
of things that are interesting concepts, this is a terrible segue, but I don't give a shit. Did you know that the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 was supposed to feature an entire town of cannibals, and it was supposed to be satire of the film Motel Hell, which in and of itself was satire of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The title of the sequel was to be called Beyond the Valley of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but the studio forced considerable changes to be made by the screenplay, even hiring a new screenwriter, and the result of those changes are now what became of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Can you imagine how cool of a movie that would have been? And they just fucked us.
It sounds way more expensive though, because this movie is very, very small scale. It sounds way bigger scale and way more expensive.
Boo.
This definitely that definitely sounds apropos for the reputation that Menahem Golan and Yoram Globus had, though, because they really kind of overpaid. They overpaid for like most everything. They released so many fucking movies that they had movies competing against their own movies when they would come out and shit. Like that's just bad business management.
Yep.
Right there. It's fucking ridiculous. But it was because they were both so passionate about movies. They just loved making movies.
Dude, the 80s were wild because you had all these fucking like VHS becoming in video stores and all that shit like being.
Those two guys alone encapsulate everything that the 80s was about, because let's say it was the decade of excess.
Yeah.
And they just went fucking full ham on everything, man.
Yeah.
Like just went crazy with it. And they wanted him to make a sequel to one of the greatest horror films of all time.
Yeah.
And they didn't get it. They didn't understand. They didn't realize that it was a fucking comedy. They didn't
Nobody
realize.
did.
They had no idea. I'm like, how do you not know this is probably a comedy? They're literally ripping off the fucking poster art for the fucking John Hughes coming of age comedy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like a legit scary movie that's trying to be a horror movie wouldn't have the fucking villains right front and center.
If you saw that poster and didn't realize this was a comedy, you've been hit over the head with a hammer more times than
or
LG
you're a fucking
was.
child. Like,
yeah,
dude, or you're just an absolute child, filled with innocence and ignorance.
Poor LG. What was Chop Top doing? You could kill someone with one hammer blow to the head. He just kept hitting him. Like this like Grandpa could have killed someone with a hammer faster than fucking like Chop Top. Chop Top sitting there going like singing like I've been working on the railroad, just like chopping or slamming LG's head. Also. What was this side room that fucking Leatherface just plots through the fucking... Like, he can't figure out how to work through a door, so... You were going to tell me that Leatherface was smart enough to figure out where the fucking walls were in this fucking room, and he figured out how to go through a wall to go after a fucking stretch? I don't think that would happen. I don't think so. Dude,
maybe. I personally really like the fact that door like had a gap on it about like this, that like every time they pulled on it, it would go all flappy.
Yep.
I like that.
Did either one of you wonder, like, whenever you watch this movie, like why does the railroad spike that they have in there? It looked like people have been trying to break through that door for years. Like
I noticed that too.
It has all the fucking marks in there, like it had been like being slammed back and forth. Like people were trying to break into them. Like, Do you guys have like raids happening? Also, why do you have a fucking like a meat locker sliding door? Like you're trying to stop like the fucking people from breaking in and like killing you all the time. Like
It is
who's
kinda
attack?
weird.
Also, this fucking radio station that looks like it's a gun store at the same time. It is Texas, so I mean that makes sense. But like it's it's got the gun sign on the outside of it. It's very much like I don't know, man. I just think that like. I think this movie is a romantic comedy between Leatherface and Stretch, and I think that like if you just don't like look at it that way, you're not really looking at it because I want to know how much of the dialogue between Stretch and Leatherface was written because when she just starts screaming at Leatherface about being angry at her, and I'm just like, why? Where does this come from? Or did you just like randomly pick things to yell at Leatherface? Because you're just yelling at him like, "Are you mad at me?" And he's like, and then obviously he's waving his chainsaw around. It's the most phallic object in the history of fucking cinema in this film.
Oh yeah.
It's like. When he's like waving it, he's like rubbing it on her inner thigh. He's like, and I don't know. I'm just gonna rant because I love this fucking movie so much. The fucking chainsaw fight between Leatherface and Dennis Hopper at the end was not made to be shown in like HD because you could obviously see the chainsaw's not running any of the time.
Right.
You're like, oh, okay, but it's not working at all. And it's just so they're just like there are multiple times in the chainsaw fight where they're just like slamming the bodies of the chainsaw together, and I'm just like they're just like going. I love that they're like doing this, but I'm like this is I don't know, man. It is this movie's wonderful. I fucking love this film.
I do too. I am a fan. I will not lie.
I
like this more than the original,
dude. I say that if you go and look at it, maybe this movie isn't as technically whatever. I will watch this.
It's not as good a movie as the first one. I just like it more.
Yeah, I will watch this movie. I've watched this movie probably 8 or 9 times in the last 5 years, and
I love it.
And I've watched the original Texas Chainsaw I think twice, and like, okay, I get it. This one I could like. I've watched this twice in the last 24 hours because this movie is so fucking like just like. It is just. Cinema in the perfect world of like these characters that none of them are come off like lifelike. They're all just like these like 2D like these 2D characters that only have their whatever that they're in. You have Chop Top who all he does is yell about Vietnam the entire film. You have Leatherface who's in love with the pretty girl. You have Stretch who just wants to be a real world journalist, and Dennis Hopper who's just okay. How did he see the fucking kid, the Franklin douchebag, just the skeleton sitting in the chair, and he's like, oh, I know that's him
because he was in a wheelchair. The idea being that he was in a wheelchair.
No one's ever been murdered by the Texas Chainsaw family that was in a wheelchair before him.
That was the only body in a wheelchair.
I still can't believe that anyone who ever knew Franklin wasn't like happy that he got eaten by the fucking family because that motherfucker was the worst character in the history of cinema, and I will not. Yeah, Hawk Tui. Dude,
listen, would you like to know a random fun fact?
What's that?
And I know I've heard this before, but a fire erupted one night in a downtown Austin building where they were doing a lot of the movie where it was taking place. When the firemen arrived, they found bodies and thought they'd stumbled upon the lair of a psychopathic murder.
I mean, they were psychopathic in the sense that they made this film, but like, that doesn't surprise me. Also, you could tell this is the old world of filmmaking because they actually shot Texas Chainsaw in Texas. I don't think they've ever they will ever shoot another Texas because 1, Texas is like 8 billion degrees, and 2, it's not cheap to shoot there. And so here we go.
3, you gotta go to Texas.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much in Texas I ever want to go. I don't think I've ever been to
I
Texas.
say that, and I genuinely am joking because I have two sisters that live in Texas, so I drive down there pretty regularly and
Yeah.
spend time with
I
them quite a bit. They
I
live in
just want to
San
go to
Antonio.
Austin because I hear Austin's a cool city, but yeah.
Austin's a very cool city. Yeah.
Yeah. I do think that they use the setting of the Oklahoma Texas like Longhorns game as the setting for this, like where it's happening, and also the glasses the guy is wearing with the weird like googly eye things from the beginning is very much like the most 80s
I
thing.
had some of those.
Mhm.
Ken, why aren't you wearing them now? I want to see you wearing them now.
I don't have them anymore
Why not?
because I had them
I'm
in the
not
90s.
7 years old.
Ken, you were born in like 1990. You should like have these things. You should have these things, Ken. You should
In
have
other
these
words,
things.
even at at the age you are, you're still
That would
young
make
enough
me
to
a
have the googly
greater hoarder.
eyes.
That would make me a greater hoarder than I already am.
I mean,
Mhm.
that Ken, for a woman that I laugh that like you have your, I'm like poor cats. Ken's started up her throne and like a Canadian throne edition, or like she's getting random shit sent to her now in Canada. I'm like, poor Cat has this little Canadian house with his little Canadian life, and then he brings Ken and her like weird random collection of like
Listen,
weird
people
random
haven't
things.
been sending as much stuff, so like we're okay.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad. Oh, fuck, man. I do love this film. Ken, did you, of all your like research and like what you do when we do the show, what's your favorite thing that you found? I mean, the last thing you just told us was cool. Was there something else better than that?
I mean, my absolute favorite is definitely the fact that it was going to be a satire of the satire of
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw. Because Motel Hell is fabulous.
Yep.
There was also like that's my favorite, but there was something that I saw earlier. Where did it go? Because it was really funny. Oh, it's just a random fact, but apparently Lefty was initially supposed to be the father of Stretch, like illegitimately her father, and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of fun." There's a whole bunch of shit that's been cut out of the movie as well, including like a whole scene where they go out and as a clan and collect the prime meat for their chili, and they slaughter movie patrons and a group of rowdy rioting fans. It's been used in some other things, and they discuss it a lot in some of the special features stuff.
It's funny because that like it reminds me of Gremlins 2, where the Gremlins are going off on the theater and just fucking everyone up. But it just feels like this movie it just doesn't have a very big scale, and so like you talk about stuff like that, you just go, wow, that kind of expands on like the really really limited thing where like most of the movie takes place in these two locations, right? And the world's largest bridge. Why? Okay, I want explanation for that scene. Why did they think that they're gonna have this bridge that they're gonna just it keeps going and go? It's like one of those fucking bridges that like they do in like a Michael Bay movie that connect like the Florida Keys to like from True Lives or something like that. You know, where like they have those long ass bridges connecting to the Florida Keys.
Like the length of the bridge that I thought it was from Canada or from Alaska to the States, that bridge.
How long is that bridge?
Apparently really fucking long.
Ken's like, apparently it's pretty fucking long, you idiot.
That's a technical term, by the way. Pretty fucking long.
Pretty fucking long.
PFL. Pretty fucking long.
That's what Ken says when she's talking about my penis. It's pretty fucking long. And that's why I'm Rod the Cod. And the cod is not a fish. It is my cod piece, is what we've learned. Dude, I love this movie. It's funny because like outside of Alien and like some of my favorite things like Halloween, like I can rewatch horror comedies like on a scale like way more than like just regular horror movies. And this is one of those movies where it's just like even the black comedy aspects of it, you're just like, this movie is just like, it's just fun. It's just a fun fucking film. It's a fun like Any movie that like chainsaws a dude to death in the butthole. I mean, not to death, but basically. My favorite line. Still think my favorite line of watching it this time was really took care of my old roids. Or what's he say? Like, they really took care of my roids or whatever he says. Like after he got chainsawed in the asshole by Dennis Hopper, and he's just like, I was just picturing his hemorrhoids getting chainsawed off, and it made me giggle, and I was just like, I love it. I
still love lick my plate, you dog dick.
You dog dick.
You dog dick. You Gizmo Red Rocket. I can't talk because I'm tired. But yes, I love this film. I fucking love it. And yeah. Anything else you guys want to say before we wrap up with this shit show?
I'm just really, really glad we just talked about a canon movie.
Yep.
I fucking love canon films so much.
I mean, you've talked about Cobra, I think, at least 5 times on this podcast already.
That's one of my favorite bad movies ever in the history of time.
Yep.
It's an awful movie. I fucking love it. It's so good at being bad. It's to me, it's the epitome of the perfect, awesomely bad movie.
Dude, I love it. Awesome.
We need to talk about
movie.
Cobra.
I was talking about Cobra.
We could talk about Cobra.
Yep. We could, but we're talking about In a Violent Nature next week. We're gonna do that one, Brian.
That's kind of Cobra-like.
I mean, I assume so. My funniest thing with that movie is I was like, that outfit looks like it was like a wannabe serial killer made an outfit to be a serial killer. Like it was right out of a, what was that fucking movie where like they did the documentary about the guy who was going to be a serial killer?
You talking about Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon?
Yeah, it looked like something out of a like.
That?
You've never seen
a cool fucking movie. We're watching that soon. Then
yeah, you've never seen that, Ken? Oh, it's wonderful.
Oh,
so
we were watching that.
It's basically a guy in the movie where it's a documentary. No, I'm just gonna tell the premise. It's like
No, don't tell me the premise because
Okay.
you like to tell
Yeah,
the
don't tell
premise
her.
and the ending. So
Yeah, don't tell her. Don't tell her.
Rise
Yeah.
of what?
The Rise of Leslie Vernon. It's Behind the Mask. The Rise of Leslie Vernon.
okay.
Super
then-
cool movie.
Let's talk about this because Maxine comes out on Friday. Do we want to do Maxine because Ken is in the real world, and then we could do the
We can do it whenever. I'm seeing it on the 3rd. So
You're
that's
seeing it on
this
the
week.
3rd.
Yeah.
Okay, then
Okay.
we will do
We can do Maxine.
Maxine next week.
Yeah.
And
Maxine.
since
Maxine.
Ken, tell Brian who you met the other night.
Oh, yeah. So hold on, let me get his name because I don't want to just be like this guy. I was at a horror movie trivia night.
Fun.
And I I was sitting with a friend, and my friend got up and started talking to this guy, and they talked for a while, and my friend came back, and I was like, "Who's that?" And he goes, "Oh, that's August." And I was like, "Oh, who's August?" And he was like, "He's the director of the new Piglet movie." And I was like, "The Piglet movie?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like in the Pooh universe, like the horror Pooh universe? And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "No shit." So eventually, because my friend does not pick up on subtle hints to introduce me, I just walked up and started talking to him, and we talked about the movie and like a bunch of other stuff that he's working on, and the teaser for Piglet Rising, and yeah,
You-
it was really cool. It
So
was
you already
really neat.
shot
Fantastic.
Piglet Rising then?
Yeah, they've shot Piglet Rising's trailer. They are doing, instead of making a teaser for the upcoming Piglet movie, I wanted to make a prequel short film to show you the style, vibe, and lore.
I know that they did the Bambi one right already, and that's coming out next. I think in the world of the Winnie the Pooh things, they have a Peter Pan one coming out also. I think in the near future. So
Yeah, there's all sorts of other like the Twisted Childhood universe.
yeah,
There's
Yeah,
like
they're
Bambi,
doing-
The Reckoning, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmares.
Yeah, they're part of the Strange Films studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really, really nice. We had a really great conversation, and
you should can get him on the podcast when we talk about when that movie's closer coming out.
he probably would do it because we talked about podcasts. So he has
That'd be
one
fun.
too. So
That'd be cool. Cool. Okay. So next week we do Maxine. We're gonna do In a Violent Nature, but since Ken is in civilization where she could see a current movie. We could do that and take advantage of that. Okay, Ken, you're not gonna be like Alien Romulus is my #1 horror movie of the fucking year, and you're not gonna be near to talk about it. It's gonna make me sad. A sad panda. But Maxine,
I will try to figure out let me know when it comes out and everything, and I'll try to make a day trip thing.
okay, it's in
for it.
August, sometime around my birthday. But
Okay. Yeah, we'll
Maxine
figure it
next
out.
week. I love fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Best movie ever.
I love fucking a chainsaw.
Okay, Stretch. Okay. That's all this whole movie is about. Is fucking a chainsaw. So
Stretch.
okay.
Shrek that
Ken.
pussy. Sorry. What?
Ken, do your plugs.
Okay. You can catch me at twitch.tv/continue. That is KINTINUE. You can go to continue.com to check out all the other links, including spicy links. Oh la la. And follow on Twitter, join the Discord. We're gonna watch Pearl and X in the Discord this week. I'm probably gonna watch one tomorrow and then one the next day. So
After this came
yeah.
out. I mean, before this came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian.
So that'll be before this. Never mind. But still join the Discord. You never know.
Brian, your shit.
You can catch me on We're Gonna Make You Watch podcast, also, where I introduce my friend Warren to all the horror movies that he's never seen.
Are you guys making him watch Prom Night 2 soon here? Because you made him watch Prom Night?
We are gonna make him watch Prom Night 2 soon. We just recently made him watch the original Hills Have Eyes.
How did that go?
You're gonna have to listen to the episode.
I don't. I've never seen that movie.
I'm not gonna tell you.
You've
never seen that movie?
No, I've never seen the original. I've seen the remake.
So good.
Brian, I
When I
didn't need a
watched
recap of the episode. You could have been like, it went well, or it was funny.
It happened. The movie was watched. Reactions were recorded, and there was things.
Okay. Well, you can follow me on Twitter and Twitch at @Ryder_Johnson and buy my book on Amazon. It's called The Death and Rebirth of a Human Heart. So check that out. And that's about all for that. So we will be back next week. I'm just forgetting words because I drink some rum before the podcast, and here we are. But we're watching Maxine next week with 3 X's. So it's Maxine. So
yeah,
we'll catch you guys next week for Maxine. And we love you. So thanks for listening. We'll catch you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.